Hi, this is Christy for the Josie Files, and this is the third time that I've attempted to film this episode. And I was saying before that this particular camera that I'm using, I cannot use in tandem with my laptop. So I do this free with no monitor. So I'm not sure how this looks, and I just hope that my head's not chopped off while I'm doing this. And watching some of the playback, I noticed that I do kind of wiggle around a lot, and whenever I do that, that starts setting the autofocus kind of haywire. And hopefully soon that I can get a new camera that I can tandem, but I kind of can't do that right now. But if you like me and subscribe to me and tell your friends, the more subscribers I can get some more funding for my new equipment. We'll see. Anyways, I'm going to do my first non-cosmetic related post today, and this we're talking about printing pictures that you take from Instagram. And a lot of the smartphones, I use a HTC One, and my camera, I'm able to plug it into my computer, and if you do a lot of file saving, that you have your menu on the side for pictures and documents and music and video for I don't know on Apple, but this is a PC, and a lot of the newer phones, whenever you plug the phone in, that becomes part of the menu as well. And there's a couple of places that you can look for pictures. On my HTC, my Instagram pictures is actually under pictures, and you can save them right to your computer. I did have a phone before that I had to email the pictures to myself back and forth. If I wanted it on the phone, I had to email it from the computer, and then vice versa from the phone. And but first, I want to start by saying that I usually don't use my phone. My phone is not my main camera. I do have an actual Canon. I have a Canon DSLR, and then I have a Canon point and shoot. It's, a little bit of a higher grade point and shoot. And that's my reasonings for that is a episode down the line. But I prefer having more control over the situation. Right now I'm under tungsten lights, and so my shots look pretty, have a red or a yellow tint to it. Like I said, my equipment for my videos is what I have right now, but I have more control over it over my photos. And whereas on the cell phones, you don't really get that control. And as a result, your photos end up being grainy. But I noticed that for the first time, I printed out pictures from my HTC One, and they actually looked pretty decent if the lighting situation was right. If not, you had the typical noisy look, grainy look. But if the lighting situation was right, the pictures are actually pretty good. So let me start off by saying that I am an amateur photographer, and I had a couple of situations in December that I was hired to do a shoot, and I was having a hard time with those shoots because I felt like my creativity was lacking. In the episode before, I was talking about an accident that I had where started off a series of surgeries, and especially the one that I had, the second one in the summer, it really kept me from going out and practicing. And so I guess back in the fall, whenever I was ready to start back again, I hadn't been thinking about photos and, my creativity. I was having a hard time with that. And I had 2 weddings at the time. One's already been done, and there's another one coming up. And I felt, thinking about assignments really helped in that situation, and I hope that it continues for this wedding coming up. In December, I found a blog, and it was called Capture Your 365. And the woman who writes that blog, at the beginning of the month, sets up assignments, daily assignments, to work on. And but with my job, my teaching job, I'm not able to do those every day, but sometimes I can get some spurts where I can look at the assignments, and you can print out the assignments monthly. And I can look at the assignments, and I can start thinking about what I want to shoot. Sometimes I put it on Instagram directly. Sometimes I'm using my camera and then load it up through Instagram that way. Like I said, for this last wedding, it really helped, and I'm really feeling confident about this wedding coming up. So last night I was in Michael's, and I have been seeing these around. I've seen them at Target also, and it's the K & Company Smash. And they have a series of journals. I think this is the middle-sized one. I've seen one smaller, and I've seen one bigger. And you go through it, and you have pre-printed sheets that you can work from. You can make lists. And there's pockets that you can save souvenirs and things. And, it's pretty neat. A lot of people don't like to use pre-printed stuff because they say it stifles their creativity. And, which I can totally see that, but sometimes I need a little help. And I actually got some other papers too. Michael's had their paper packs on sale, and I picked some of those up, and that you can mix and match, and then add creativity, your own creativity. So last night I was going through, and I printed up my Instagram pictures. And it's really easy. You can, the resolution of these told me that I could actually go a little bit bigger if I wanted to, but I wanted to stay with the 2.5 and 2.5 by 2.5 square. And what you can do, and I'm going to have a tutorial about this also, if this is kind of confusing. After you save your Instagram photos to your to your computer, you can highlight the photos that you want to print. When you'll get options to the right hand side of the screen, and I chose wallets, and at the very bottom of the screen you can click to fit in the frame or click off to not fit in frame. And I click it off because if you click on the fit to frame, it does kind of stretch them out, and you have the the typical portrait rectangle picture, and whenever that's done, that is stretched and distorted. And a lot of people, that doesn't bother them too much, but it really drives me nuts. So and then 9 pictures to fit to a sheet, and I use Kodak paper. It's just the low grade Kodak. It says it's glossy paper, but it's not really. It has enough of a matte effect. Glossy paper drives me nuts. I try to use matte whenever I can. And I hear the squirrels on the roof. They've been crazy all morning. But Kodak is, I use a Canon printer, but Kodak is a good generic paper, even though they're, they say that you really shouldn't use refurbished inks because the inks are calibrated for the machines. And, but I use a photography printer, and some of the colors act a little bit different, and some of those people, they don't realize that, and you spend the money on the inks, and then the inks, they give you the wrong ink. So I much rather use the Canon ink to go with the Canon printer. But the Kodak paper has really good results. I've been using the Kodak paper for about 7 years now, and I buy them in packs of 100, and the last time I bought, I think they were $9.99. If the price might have gone up, but I happened to catch a pretty good sale, so I bought 3 or 4 packs, and so I've had paper for a while. And then I'm going to work on my journal. And I do keep photo albums, but this is more journaling. I love writing, but I don't really get the time to put into it. Oh, and did I mention that it comes with a pen and glue combined, which is pretty cool. But I'm sure that you could use some other acid-free markers as well, which I know I have some buried around here somewhere. It's just a matter of finding them. And the journals came in several different colors, and every color had a different theme to it. And so I'm really looking forward to putting this book together and having my photo journal. And but I'll keep you updated on progress. So next time, let me check my notes to see what my next episode is going to be. Oh, I'm going to start on the 1001 albums. All right. See you next time.